Hey guys, today I'm going to show you how I do my Rikku makeup. First, I start with foundation. I pat and blend it around my nose and eyes with my finger. Then I use a foundation brush and spread it evenly all over my face. Make sure you get any dark spots or creases to even out the skin and give yourself a blank canvas to work with. I use a smaller brush to apply it a little thicker in areas like around my eyes and nose to brighten them up. I also lightly brush it around my mouth to blend in the edges. Next, I dust on some warm rosy blush from my Sedona lace palette to the fronts of my cheeks. I lightly dust it over my nose too. Then I use my beige e.l.f. eyeshadow to contour my nose. I try to make my nose look much smaller and sharper. First, I make the tip look much more narrow and shorter by darkening around the sides and underneath it. Then I continue up the sides of my nose to make it look slimmer and straighter. Apply it lightly at first, then you can make it darker as you go to define it more. I continue the contour all the way up to my eyebrows. Once I'm happy with the nose, I move on to my eyelids. I want my eyes to look more youthful and wide, so I elongate the shadow from the edge of my eye up to my eyebrow with some eyeshadow. Then I blend in my nose. I also add some eyeshadow under my eyes to make them look rounder. Then I highlight my brow bone with the white powder from my Sedona lace palette. I also apply a thin line of white powder down the center of my nose, and I continue that up to over my eyebrows. I also brighten the sides of my nose and under my eyes. And then under my nose and on my chin. To make my face look rounder and fuller, I add a light powder to the sides of my mouth on my lower cheek. Then I move on to the eyes. I start by using a black liquid liner and draw a thin line around my upper lash line. I drag the wing out past my eye to make them look bigger. I also continue the line halfway through my lower lash line as well, and I do the same for my other eye. Then I take a dark brown liner pencil and blend in my black eyeliner. I also use a light powder to highlight the inner corners of my eyes. I touch up the brown eyeliner a little bit more, and then I use a brown eyeshadow to soften the liner. I also apply a little bit of brown eyeshadow under my nose to make it look shorter. Then I do the same for the other eye. I quickly curl my eyelashes. Next, I move on to the eyebrows. Her eyebrows don't have a sharp arch, but they do curve pretty high to make her look wide-eyed. I drag the end of the eyebrow past my eye. It looks like they start along the sides of her nose pretty close together. Then I just brush on a little brown eyeshadow to help blend them. I also touch up the edges with some light powder. Next, I move on to the lips. I start by tracing the shape with a lip liner pencil. She doesn't have huge lips, but they do look pretty full and even, so I slightly overdraw my natural upper lip line to help balance them out. Then I use the brown eyeshadow in the corners of my mouth to give a slight smirk effect. and I blend it all in. Then I lightly apply a coral lipstick to my lips. Now for the contacts. I got these green contact lenses from Unique, so I will add a link to their website in the description. I really like the green and the fact that these lenses make my eyes look larger. In the game, Rikku has swirls in her eyes. Green contacts with swirls in them are nearly impossible to find, and the ones I did find were way too dark on my eyes, so I went with these instead. I love the way these look, and it's such a tiny detail that you really shouldn't worry about spending unnecessary amounts of time and money when normal green contacts look just as good. Once the contacts are in, I move on to the fake eyelashes. I apply a thin line of eyelash glue on the false eyelash strip and let it get tacky, then I apply it to my eyelid. Then I apply mascara to blend the lashes in. I also apply mascara to my lower lashes and gently wipe away any clumps off the ends to make them look shorter. To soften my cheekbones, I apply a darker beige eyeshadow to the tops of my cheekbones on the sides of my eyes. This helps the face look rounder. I also dust on some more pink blush. Then I take my hair down so I can put it up in the wig. I separate my hair into 2 sections down the middle, and then I wrap one side around my head and pin it in place. Then I wrap the second section in the opposite direction and pin that in place as well. Then I put on a wig cap to hold the hair down. And I put on a second wig cap, then I shift the hair around to minimize any lumps or bulges. And I put on a third wig cap to compress the hair tight since this wig looks like an updo. Since I already have the shirt on, I'm going to put on the goggles so I don't have to pull them over the wig. I actually made this wig myself from a really cheap wig off eBay. I will make a tutorial of how I made this wig next. I use a little bit of brown eyeshadow along the hairline to blend it in. Then I apply some eyelash glue to my face and press the hair down so it doesn't move around and it makes it look more natural. And that's pretty much it for the makeup. Thank you guys so much for watching this tutorial. I really hope you learned some techniques that you can use for your own Rikku cosplay or maybe another character that looks similar. Huge shout out to Purple Shala for playing the wonderful music you heard in the video. Also, thank you to my patrons for supporting the making of these tutorials. I will add links to my Patreon and the products I used in this video in the description. The wig and full costume tutorial is coming up next. Let me know if you would like me to make a Una makeup tutorial as well. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Bye!